Hello everyone, welcome to another Daily Gym. Today is Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. I pause because I sometimes look at my phone for the date. Today I want to talk about how there are too many things that I like to talk about. So, there are too many things to talk about. I'm sitting here going, what should I talk about today? Should I talk about what's going on in Ukraine? Should I talk about Israel? Should I talk about politics in the U.S. when it comes to the border? Should I talk about relationships? Should I talk about the coding that I did today? Should I talk about the Mexican food that I just ate and how delicious it was? Should I talk about... There's so many different things to talk about. I go through Twitter and it's boom, boom, boom. All these different things are popping up. And then when I think about doing long-form podcasts where I have like conversations or interviews, I think of so many different types of segments I can do and so many people I could talk to. And sometimes I think of a person I want to talk to, then I think of like 20 different things I want to talk to them about. And then it's really hard to say, okay, what am I going to talk to that one person about? And I try to pull back and I wonder, is it just me? Or maybe not just me, but how common is this attitude or this belief in being able to talk about a lot of things, or one might say this conflict of, there's too many things that I want to talk about. Do other people experience this that much? My gut feeling, my intuition says that most people don't actually. When I've talked to people about doing a blog or doing a podcast, they go, but what happens when you run out of things to talk about? I'm thinking, what do you mean run out of things to talk about? Run out of things to talk about? Oh, that might be a very, very long time in the future. Unless I run out of voice. The things might always be there. The voice might be gone. I remember reading something, I think it was a scale about apathy. And it talked about how people who are very high on apathy tend to not reach out to other people, tend to not start conversations, tend to, maybe just not have that many things to talk about that they want to talk about or that are relevant to them that day. I don't think I have that problem. I think I have the opposite. And again, I'm just really curious for the people who are listening to this. How is it for you? Do you have a lot of things that you want to talk about in general? Are there only a few things that interest you? Do you like to go really deep on specific topics, but other topics don't really care too much? No, I mean, to be fair, I don't want to talk about everything. There's lots of things that I don't particularly enjoy talking about, but when I think about having a podcast or having conversation with a stranger at a bar, there's so many things, so many little nuances. I think maybe they often come back to things about psychology or relationships or emotions or love or conflict resolution but not always. Sometimes it's business. I was thinking today about the Mexican food that I had and thought, this could be a really interesting business model to start this and this and this and this. If you can't tell, it seems like I'm somewhat rambling, or at least I get the feeling that I'm somewhat rambling on this this episode today. And I think I can go in so many different directions sometimes that I don't know which one to go into. And maybe this is a way to pull it back in. I think a lot of times when I think about business or I think about work, I think so much of our society is, if you want to be good at business or work, you do one thing and you do it over and over again, repeatedly for a long time. And you get known for that thing. There's not a lot of room for creativity or working in different avenues or media. So, for example, if someone becomes a podcaster, then maybe they can't also be a writer, or they can't also be a TV personality. And sometimes those mix, but if they're going across those different channels, they often speak about the same thing. So maybe you have someone who talks about politics. That person does not also talk about art or talk about sports. If they do, they're not also known for being a painter, or they also don't start a taco business. Maybe there's more of that these days, but I still think that a lot of we have a tendency to value the act of doing the same thing over and over again. And I think sometimes that's where I might struggle, in that there aren't a lot of roles in organizations, in whether they're formal or informal organizations, for people who are more creative, that come up with lots of different ideas and want to pursue multiple channels and multiple avenues at the same time. And yeah, I think maybe sometimes organizations, it's the top of the organization. It's maybe the CEO or sometimes the head of design, but even then, not so much. It's still kind of like the CEO. And so, yeah, I've just been thinking about how there's so many things that I want to talk about, and I'm excited to talk about them and have you listen if you'd like, or for you to join the conversation on the forum, or in other ways. And yeah, just the implications and how maybe our society's doesn't necessarily prize or celebrate when somebody wants to pursue multiple avenues at the same time. Okay, my voice is running out. That Mexican food got to me. So I will talk to you all soon. Cheers.